Okay, guys, so this is a part 2 video for those of you that studied that you were going to be absent tomorrow or today, whatever. Just real quick, I did make a mistake. 2, 4, +2, +4 is up here, and that's in the middle of the double shaded area, so that should have been a solution. I think I graphed it as 2, -4, so I messed up. My bad. Now, let's go move on to example 2. Now I'm going to do the whole top part before I actually start shading, okay? So here we go. Now we do have a slope, we do have a y-intercept. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay, so this one has a y and it does have an x. This is not Hoy, this is not Buck. So we're gonna go ahead and write down the slope, which is 1/2, and your y-intercept is 1. You look at the inequality to tell you whether it's solid or dotted and whether you have to shade above or below. So if I look at this inequality, notice how it's underlined. That lets me know that this is going to be a solid line. The name of this inequality is less, and less means below. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first before moving on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to plot my y-intercept, which is 1. We have a +1/2 slope, meaning I'm going to go up 1, right 2, up to the right, up 1, right 2, and repeat that pattern. This one is a solid line, so I can graph it like I normally would. And you, especially with this unit or with this topic, you want to make sure you're graphing one line at a time, because it's very, very easy to get confused on where to shade if you have both lines graphed before, my bad, that's a solid line, before doing anything else, before doing any shading. We're going to shade below, so I'm going to grab that freehand, whatchamacallit, oh, Lord, I thought I was doing the freehand highlighter. There we go. So I'm just going to go, wow. Okay, then I'll worry about where it overlaps. Let me move it up a little bit. Moving on to the pink. This one also has a y and x, so there is a slope, there is a y-intercept, MB. So this is a -2/1, and my y-intercept is a +1. So I'm going to start here at the +1, down to right 1, down to right. Okay. That one's fine. I can go up to the left. Now, you look at the inequality to let you know whether it's solid or dotted, whether you have to shade above or below. So let's look at this inequality. It is underlined, so that way I know it's a solid line. And the name of it is less than means we're going to be shading below. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect that line. Lord, I think I'm going to have to do it this way. And we are going to be shading below, so I'm going to use my freehand shader. There we go. And you notice that it overlaps right here in this weird looking triangle. So this is where the solution area is, where the shading overlaps, where the colors end up mixing. Now I'm going to graph those points. That way I can see which ones are part of my solution. 0, 1, 0, 1's right here. It's right there at the intersection of where the colors mix, and they're both solid lines. So yes, this is a solution. -2, -2, -2, -2, right here, smack in the middle. So yes. 2, -3, +2, -3 lands on a solid line. Yes. -4, -1 on a solid line, but also within that double shaded area, and +2, +2, even though this is on a solid line, not in the double shaded area. Next one, we have X. There is no Y, so you should be thinking bucks. Now, the slope of a vertical line, we went over it, is undefined. And the y-intercept, because a vertical line is parallel to your y-axis, it doesn't cross, so there is no y-intercept. The name of this inequality is less than. Less than lets me know that we're going to be shading below. Whoops. And right here, It's not underlined, so we're going to have a dotted vertical line, dotted, okay? They give you one X value. That X value is -1. If it's an X value, you want to put that on the X axis. It's going to be a dotted vertical line. So just remember, mine starts off solid, and then I have to manually switch it to a dotted line. Okay. And you can only with vertical lines treat it like an arrow. So since it's an arrow and it's pointing to the left, I'm going to shade the whole left side of this line. And since it is in the shape of a box, I can easily do that. I'm gonna need my freehand for next one. All right, next one, you have a Y and an X. So write your slope. The slope is -2/3. And the y-intercept is 1. So +1, down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3. Or you can go up to the left. Look at the inequality so you can know whether it is solid or dotted above or below. So if I look at this inequality, it lets me know it's underlined, so I know it's a solid line. Greater than means above. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those lines. I'm going to connect those dots. It's a solid line. I'm going to shade above it. Need my freehand. And then you'll see that there's this small, weird looking triangle where the shading overlaps, and that is my solution area. Let's check these points. So -3, +3, -3, +3, right here in the double shaded area on a solid line. Yes. -4, +5, right in the middle of it. Yes. 0, 0, nowhere near any of it. No. -1, -2 on a dotted line, but not anywhere near that double shaded area. And 3, -1, even though it's on a solid line. And in this shaded area, it's not in the double shaded area. So that's going to be also a no. Last one. Here we go. We have a Y and an X, even though it looks similar to a Hoy Bucks. We still have both variables present, so this is not a Hoy Bucks one. So my slope is actually this 3 right here in front of X, so 3/1. Now there is nothing added to the end of this, so there's your +0, and that means your y-intercept is 0. Look at the inequality to know whether you're going to have a solid or dotted line above or below. It's not underlined, so it's a solid line. And greater than means above, so we're going to shade above this line, above. Let's graph it. So I start at 0. My slope is +3/1, so +3 to the right, up 3 to the right 1, or down 3 to the left 1. Solid line. No, this is a dotted line. Nobody corrected me. There's somebody in this classroom that could have corrected me, and they didn't say a word. Dotted. Not even paying attention. So I'm going to connect those points, but remember, I am going to switch it back to dotted. I have to do that manually, unfortunately. Okay. And then we said we were going to shade above the line. When you have a line that's a little bit more upright, remember there is a trick to it. You want to put your pencil in the y-intercept and go and find your up arrow. So this is the side that I will shade. Okay. Next, you have a Y, you have an X. So that is a diagonal line. You do have a slope, you do have a y-intercept. So my slope is -2/1. My y-intercept 0 as well, because you can add 0 and it doesn't affect that line. You look at your inequality to know whether it's solid or dotted, whether you're going to shade above or below. It is underlined, meaning solid, and it is less than, so we're going to shade below it, below. All right, so I'm going to start at 0 once again. It's a -2 slope, so down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, up 2, left. Solid line, so that should be easy peasy. And we're also shading below it. I already have my freehand highlighter, so here we go. everything below. So now it's not some weird looking triangle. It's all of this right here. And this is where my shading overlaps. Okay, so just make sure that this is a darker area for you guys, for those of you using pencils like you should. Don't make it too dark to where you can't see the grid. -1, -3, -1, -3 in the double shaded area, but it's not on a solid line. It's on dotted, so not a solution. -2, 4 in a double shaded area, but also a solid line. So this is a yes. This is 0, 0. It's in the intersection of a dotted and a solid. When it's at the intersection of dotted and solid, solid wins. So this is a solution. -4, 0, definitely. And then 1, +3, dotted line, but also not anywhere near my green area. So not a solution. Okay. Now, those of you that are watching this part 2 from home, make sure you go ahead and watch your video for the next day and be prepared. Come in the morning to get that paper so you can fill in your notes. Have a great day.